Let's start by retiring a myth. ADHD is not a deficit of attention, and it is not a lack of willpower. It is better understood as a different operating system for attention and motivation. Two systems define it: executive function, how the brain manages itself, and dopamine regulation, how it generates motivation. Neither one is broken. They are simply tuned differently, and once you see how, almost everything about ADHD starts to make sense. Take executive function first, the brain's set of self-management skills. Working memory, impulse control, getting started, planning, sensing time, and managing emotion. In ADHD, these don't disappear. They show up inconsistently, especially when a task depends on internal structure instead of an external deadline. So the real gap is not knowing what to do. It is reliably doing what you already know, a performance problem rather than a knowledge problem. Now the core difference, and it is about motivation. Most people run an importance-based system. If something matters enough, the brain supplies the drive to begin. The ADHD brain runs an interest-based system, where importance alone often isn't enough to start the engine. It engages when a task is interesting, novel, challenging, or urgent. Then dopamine surges and focus can become intense. But without one of those sparks, even a critical task can stall. This is the engine the rest of the series is built on. So what reliably flips the switch? 4 triggers. Interest when the task is genuinely fascinating. Novelty when it is new or different. Challenge when it tests your skill or adds competition. And urgency when it simply has to happen now. Clinicians sometimes call this INCUP, adding passion as a 5th. It is why you can focus for hours on what grips you, yet stall on a short, dull task. Same brain, different fuel. Underneath all of this is a question of timing. Normally, dopamine bridges the gap between acting now and a reward that arrives later. In ADHD, that bridge is weak, so a reward's value drops off steeply the further away it sits. A distant payoff barely registers in the present, while something interesting or urgent delivers its reward immediately. That is why a deadline works so well. Urgency collapses later into now, and the signal finally lands. Reframe the whole thing, and the deficit narrative falls apart. The same system that stalls on dull tasks also fuels hyperfocus, creativity, and remarkable performance under pressure. Dr. Dodson asks his clients a simple question. If you could get and stay engaged, is there anything you couldn't do? Most answer no. So the goal is not to force an interest-based brain to run on importance. It is to engineer interest, novelty, challenge, and urgency into the things that matter. That is the work ahead.